What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
On the screen in front of the show. We do this every year. My man, Southern Utah Thunderbirds with nice gear on, DeLane, Fitzgerald. DeLane, my brother. How is life out there in City, Utah, my guy?
My man, good morning, boss man. Hey, we're living that Atlanta life here right now. It's 93 degrees outside, which is unseasonably hot here. So hey, I'm getting a little bit of Atlanta without the humidity.
You got that right, DeLane. You got that right, brother. I'm telling you. Woo. Humidity is everything. That's what it kills you, the humidity. So let me ask you, man, this year you're going back to the Big Sky. You was in the UAC for a while, and then now there's the Big Sky. So what about this transition for your guys going from the UAC now to the Big Sky?
Yeah, JR, my tenure here has been laden with transitions. We're going into our fifth season here as a coaching staff, getting our fifth athletic director this fall. When we got here, they were transitioning from the Big Sky to the WAC. We spent a year in the WAC, and then we joined the UAC for 2 seasons, and now we're going back into the Big Sky. JR, the question everybody wants to know is what's it going to be like? How are we going to compare? What are my thoughts of the Big Sky? And it's just all a big question mark right now. If you were asking me to make some guesses, I think the top of the Big Sky, I think the top 3 or 4 teams may be better than the top 3 or 4 teams in the UAC. But at the same time, I think the bottom 3 or 4 teams in the UAC may be quite a bit better than the bottom 3 or 4 teams in the Big Sky. That UAC conference was really competitive top to bottom, and if you ever showed up on a Saturday or a Saturday night unprepared and not ready to play, you usually didn't do very well. So some of these Big Sky games where the top of the conference is playing the bottom of the conference are pretty lopsided. That's a guess by me. Ask me 6 months from now, I'm going to have a lot more to talk about than I do now.
And DeLane, has it changed the way the players you recruit now, knowing going to the Big Sky? Has it changed the kind of guys you all target, or same kind of guys no matter what, to fit your culture and what you all want to do there?
Yeah, you're right when you talk about our culture. We like a certain type of kid with a certain type of parents, and we target that for the most part. So we're recruiting the same type of player. Here's what's changed, JR, is we were in that conference in the UAC, and we were playing West Georgia, so we were selling kids from California and Utah and Phoenix and Las Vegas. We were selling them on playing a game in Atlanta and playing a game outside of Lexington, Kentucky, and playing a game just outside of Nashville and playing a game in Alabama. And the sales, it's kind of hit and miss. when you're talking to kids about playing games across the country, because I can tell you their parents don't want to hear it. Now the sales pitch is if we're recruiting a young man from California, look, we're going to play one, maybe two games in a year, each year in California. Your parents get there. We're only 6 hours from California, from Los Angeles. Your parents can get to all the games. The selling point is a little better with the parents than it's been. And I think, to be honest with you, I think the kids want to stay home and want to play close to home also.
No doubt. No, personally, I'm gonna miss you all coming this way. I personally, selfishly, I'm gonna miss you coming this way, but I'm gonna make my way out to see you, brother. Along the hard schedule works out for me. I can make it happen. But yeah, man, I can understand that going across country with expenses, trying to see your kids coming this way is crazy. So staying close to home, then you can drive out and find guys and drive. But this is with CCC and talent all out there west. So let's talk about how easy it is for you guys recruiting budget wise, trying to find guys and not have to worry about trying to come out this way to find guys. Hopefully, that maybe want to make the transition out there as well.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of comments on you're going to save money. You're going to save money. JR, not so much, because we're not recruiting any different than we were before. So the recruiting budget stays the same, and working with the university to try to get that improved a little bit, because our recruiting budget's not great right now. So trying to get that improved, just like every other coach in the country is trying to get a little more, trying to do that. I'll give you this one. We may be on charter flights, we may be saving $5,000 to $15,000 per flight, but because going from here to Spokane, Washington, or here to wherever, here to Portland, Oregon, is a little bit of a savings versus going to Lexington, Kentucky, or Atlanta, Georgia. On the flip side of that, you can go to Peach City, Georgia, whatever it is, just outside of Atlanta. You can get hotel rooms all day long for $100 a night. Well, you're not getting that in California, and you're not getting that in Portland, and you're not getting that in Idaho. We go to Moscow, Idaho this year, and a couple of the hotels quoted us at $379 per night.
Wow.
So what I'm saying, then the food is more expensive here than it is in the Southeast. So what I'm saying is our travel from a financial standpoint is going to be a break-even proposition, because we'll save some money on the flights and on the charters. But we're going to turn around and spend that money on hotels and food.
And DeLane, let me ask you this. I know some schools play these guaranteed games to get money coming in to help with your budget. That's something that you want to do more of, maybe outside and your non-con, to kind of raise money that way. Because I know some schools down here want to play more FBS schools to make money to help out with NIL and things of that nature to help pay their players and travel expenses to come out a little bit better financially as well.
I've never met a coach. I've never met an FCS coach or a D2 coach that wanted to play money games up. I've never met one that wanted to do it. And if you get caught up in an administration that wants to do that, you just got a bad administration. That they'll get you in trouble that way, because what happens is if you start out with 2 FBS games, you play those 2 FBS games, your kids get beat up. And not only are you losing the first 2 games of the season, but then you turn around and lose week 3, 4, and 5 because you're waiting on kids to recover from the bumps and bruises they got in the first 2 games. Where I land with that is I believe all FCS schools should play one. All FCS schools should play one. They should play up one time, play a Power 4 school. It lets the young man know where he stands, kind of in the athletic pecking order. It lets the coaching staff, the university, kind of know where they stand in the pecking order. And then you take that money. And most of the money should go to the football program. But then some of the money also should be spread out amongst the non-revenue sports to help them out also. JR, where we land is we're trying to average $800 a year. Trying to average $800,000 in guaranteed money per year. And what usually happens with that, without getting into exact numbers, is football gets half of it, and then half of the money goes to the non-revenue sports. JR, you can ruin a season playing more than one game for financial benefit.
Played our SEC game once a year, man. Injuries was terrible for us. And then, we had a bye week out there, thank God. But you're right. Kids get hurt. It was just one game for us playing against the SEC school. And you're right about that. You don't want to – then when it comes down to time to decide whether to keep you or not, those games are used against you.
No. They never I got stories for days. But we're at SVU. and we're non-scholarship NAI 1 year at SVU. We finished up 5-6. We played 3 money games. Well, when they call you in to do that, and I'm talking about we're playing Morehead State, so we're NAI non-scholarship, and we're playing a FCS school, and they bring you in at the end to do your end of the year evaluation. You're 5-6. They don't want to hear nothing about the money they made or that you played. At that time, we were probably playing up 2 levels.
No doubt, man.
JR, I enjoy going to some of the bigger schools and the big stadiums and finding out exactly where you stack up, where you belong. I enjoy that. Any more than once, you're doing a disservice to the young men.
No doubt. And DeLane, maybe I'm reading this wrong. I see your schedule. Weber State, isn't it a conference game for you? But it says non-conference.
Yeah. So here's what
on your schedule.
Yeah, so we were playing 3 or 4 Big Sky schools a year out of conference.
Okay.
Then we joined the conference, whatever it was, around Christmas, a little bit before Christmas, they made that decision. We joined the conference, so we had to do some shuffling. We were able to get NAU on the conference schedule, and I think we were able to get there was one other Idaho State on the conference schedule, but with Weber, they just left it as a non-conference game.
Gotcha. Okay, because I see you playing St. Thomas. That's out St. Paul there. Chicago State starting a new football team this year. Chicago State's football team started. They come to see you. Also Colorado State as well. So great non-con slates you got with one Weaver being one in-conference, non-conference, but 3 other games on the side of the Big Sky, man. Very, very competitive. Colorado State, Chicago State starting up, and St. Thomas out there.
Yeah, I think we've got 4, but it's slipping my mind a little bit. We open up with a conference game at Montana, come home and play Weber in non-conference, and then I haven't paid any attention to the schedule after that, but I think we have 4 non-conference games total.
Yeah, man, and I feel like you challenge yourself very well, man. And DeLane, in this world of portal, NIL, and people want money, knowing that you can't give them what they need, how do you get to digging that young man's spirit and heart? Does he literally love the game the way you and I love football, love ball? So talk about that process of getting to know a young man and his family to really know where his heart and mind is about the game of football, why he wants to come and be a part of your program.
Yeah, it's changed. It's changed since you played. It's definitely changed since I played. That the parents have changed, JR. The parents look at it a lot more from a monetary standpoint, and back in that. And I know your father. I think very highly of your dad. I know that he was looking at it from a opportunity standpoint. He was looking at it from an education standpoint. Your dad wanted to know what your degree from Tennessee State was going to give you the rest of your life, what it was going to provide you with, the opportunities and the options that education was going to provide. Parents these days are a little more of what can you do for me right now? What have you done for me lately? What can you do for me this fall? Because the fact of the matter is that their son may not be there after this fall. So there's a little bit of a right now mentality that wasn't there before. When a parent, whatever a parent values, it trickles down to their kids. So when a parent has those values, a lot of times the young man will have those values too. You ask. I'm still clinging to the old. I think his old country song talks about it. So I'm still clinging to the old stuff. And we vet the parents and want to know what the parents value and what they really want out of their kids' college experience. And we do that very, very thoroughly. And then we talk to the kid. And like a lot of different things, I'll sit and listen. Just sit and listen to the young man on the phone, ask him 3 or 4 questions, and let him talk his 15, 20 minutes. And in his talking, I'll find out what matters to him and what doesn't matter to him. And then for us, JR, and you know this better than anybody, does he love football? Because if he doesn't love football, he's not going to last very long with us. Is he mentally and physically tough? Does he value his education? Does he believe if he works hard today that he can get 1% better today? Because our program is based on 1%, 1%, 1%. From Monday to Monday, you wake up, you ought to be 7% better than you were the Monday before. And if you just stack good days on top of each other, you end up being a good college player. But there's a couple of other things that go into that for us. But we're still old school in our evaluation and looking for what fits us.
And DeLane, you said something right, because my father was very much about he wanted me to be the first one in the family to get a degree. Mm-hmm. What's important to him. I'm my grandmother's
first grandchild have a college degree.
Now, I have to ask you. I have a similar story, but I have to ask you. It's why you and I get along, because our stories are pretty similar. After you, how many of your younger brothers and sisters and cousins got a degree?
2.
Yeah. So, but you changed things.
2.
Yeah. Those 2 don't get a degree if you don't get a degree.
Yeah. So my brother, he had a degree, and he's a PPP. My cousin, she's a veterinarian now.
There you go.
So I was my grandmother's first child to get a degree, and my father was adamant. You can't go get general studies and disciplinary studies. Had to be a real degree. So business.
So there on me, on my father's side of the family, I'm the only one. I was the first one, maybe in the history of the family, to get a college degree. And then it turns around 3 years later, my brother gets a degree, and he outdoes me education-wise by a lot. But on my mother's side, I was the first one. I was the first one in 3 generations to get a degree. So it was big on both sides of the family. You talked about the general studies, and I'll go back to one of your questions. You talked about the portal. When these kids bounce, when they bounce from school to school to school, you can't stay Division I eligible, and you can't gain progress towards degree, because you have to satisfy the progress towards the degree requirements each semester. You can't do it without majoring in general studies.
Wow.
When anybody back home, and when I don't know if you knew that, when you're looking at a kid at your alma mater or my alma mater, and he's on his 3rd school, he's whatever their general studies major is, and I've heard it be called, some schools call it liberal arts because they think that sounds smarter. Some call it general studies, general ed, whatever. But whatever their general studies degree is, that's what the young man's majoring in.
My dad told coaches I couldn't do that. He said, okay, you know what, DeLane, he's right, because for me, I'm using my business degree now and my MBA I got a master's degree to an MBA. I'm using it for my show. I am the seller. I'm the hustler. I'm the scale. I'm the accountant. I'm everything. I'm a one-man LLC, and I'm cool with that. But had I not took my father's wishes, I wouldn't have all what I had accomplished. So I'm thankful. Like you said, my dad was very much on education, and even though he was a coach, he wanted me to get a degree. It meant everything to my father that I got a degree.
Good for your dad.
Yes, indeed. And DeLane, I wish more parents like my dad who cares about that too, because the football starts for us all. Eventually, we have to find our place, and talk about getting young men to see that, DeLane. That hey, one day that the game will stop for us all. Mm-hmm. What's your purpose and path after the game stops for you?
And we talk with them about life. Your window of opportunity to play a sport is really, really small. Your window is really, really small, and the rest of your life is huge.
Yes, indeed, man. It's so beautiful to see, man. And you know what, DeLane, I'm going to tell the fans again. When I'm on your sideline, it is so fucking fun. Excuse my language, because your guys are so locked in, man. Like, you do a great job, but you get the right young men that locked in, and it's a road game, too. So not like I ain't been here with you at home, but on the road. It's about that mentality, getting your guys locked in the build, play on the road, and play well on the road, and leave that stadium with a W, because it's very much a mindset to win on the road.
Yeah, it's not easy to fly across the country, spend the night in an unfamiliar hotel, eat unfamiliar food, and get up the next day at lunchtime and be successful. We found a way to do it the last 3-4 seasons here at the end of the year. JR, it goes back to the mental and physical toughness. Hey, if mom and dad got some mental and physical toughness, Junior's probably going to have some mental and physical toughness, and then Junior's going to get up on Saturday morning and compete, which is what we're looking for.
No doubt, man. And I got a few more for you, man. This summer, man, and workouts, man. What are you trying to accomplish with you guys in workouts this summer, man, as you prepare for fall camp, which is right around the corner, coming up here real soon?
Yeah, we're one of the 2 or 3 youngest teams in the conference. This day and age, it's never good. One of Indiana's secrets to success last year and winning the national titles, they had the oldest team in the country. A lot of old dudes running around. I'm not talking about 21, 22-year-old juniors and seniors. I'm talking about 23 and 24-year-old juniors and seniors. We're a really, really young bunch of freshmen, bunch of sophomores. Without getting into a whole lot of details, we have a bunch of unproven young men, JR, and we just keep it simple. We're keeping it simple with them. We're trying to get 1% better each day. Can we learn the playbook a little better each day? Can we get more explosive through our hips each day? Can we improve our change of direction each day? And then out on the field, can we improve our focus and education each day? And obviously, we're not on the field and in the weight room and in the classroom all in the same day. But can we get those things accomplished on the days that we're trying to, the days that we're working on those things?
And last one for you, DeLane, man. For Father's Day's coming up here this weekend. Talk about what that means to you when your guys hit you up and tell you, Coach, here's my son, my daughter, my family, and tell you you're like a father figure to them as well. How important is that to you, man?
Let me tell you, I'd go through Lost without the former players now because I got 2 teenage daughters that they ain't got. Hey, the only thing they know about Sunday is that it's Sunday. So for them, it's a pool day. They couldn't care less about Father's Day. JR, this is what I found as my career is going along, and this is year 18. Year 18 as a head coach, year 31 of college football as a player and a coach, so a lot of years. You don't hear much from the 20-something-year-olds. You don't hear much from them, the successful ones, the unsuccessful ones, the ones in the middle, and I'm talking about football, academically, in life. You don't hear a whole lot from them. They hit 30s, early 30s. You start hearing from those guys on a regular basis. And I'll get 6 to 12. Thank you, Coach. Hey, thank you for all you've done. Thank you for what you did. I'll get a bunch of those on Sunday. I'm far enough along in this. I could probably do a pretty good research project on who's going to reach out and who's not.
Yeah, there, man. Well, DeLane, I appreciate you, brother, our friendship, our brotherhood, man. I always enjoy talking ball with you, man, and best of luck to you. Let's do this again real soon, my brother.
Brother, I love you. Thank you for everything. Let's talk soon.
See you, hey, same here, brother. See you soon, my brother.
Hey, man.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z. Sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.